Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is April 2nd. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm all right.
Missed that first. Jumped right up and over the top. Just skipped right over it. Sorry, buddy. A little bummed out.
You know.
Prevented you from getting some April Fool's joke off a la Tiger and his tweets and whoever else.
What a funny guy. Well, love's in the air. Love is in the air, and Tiger sprung a sense of humor with the newfound love.
I liked it. I mean, I'm not saying it was good. I enjoyed it because that's not coming from anybody but Tiger. He's like, all right, I'm gonna have a little fun with my dad jokes. Maybe the new girlfriend got involved and spurred him on there with love in the air as it is. But I enjoyed it. The hyperbaric chamber. I clearly got it right away. Apparently it duped a couple people. I saw CNBC was live on air and Squawk Box was talking about how Tiger was healed and might be back for the Masters. So it got a couple people, I think. So that's our we jumped over that. This is now April 2nd as you're listening to this. Wednesday, April 2nd. The Masters approaches, but first we got some important matters to tend to with ANWA, the Valero Texas Open, aka the Charlie Hoffman Invitational.
You took the joke right out of my mouth.
We've been doing this for 6 years too.
Number one in the power rankings. The greatest article to come out of COVID was the all-time Texas Open power rankings. The week because they all came out the week that the tournament wasn't being held because of COVID.
We got to feed the content beast. What are we putting on PGAtour.com? There's no golf. Let's do all-time power rankings. And here's Chuck Hoffman ahead of Arnold Palmer, Ben Crenshaw.
Ben Crenshaw. I'm finding the all-time.
No, is it still eligible? Is it still available on the internet? I know some things go to die on the internet these days, but maybe it's out there.
Where is it?
So
do they just update it every year? It seems like they just update the article to keep it in the SEO hopper. God, I can't find it. What?
Well, it must not be in an SEO hopper then if you can't find it.
Well, I think what they do is they have like the Texas Open power rankings, and every year they just update the article.
Oh, so the all-time thing was just.
I'm gonna way back machine it for you. I'll go back to 2020.
PJ, it was 2020 right around now. I'd love to get the definitive rankings back up here for this, but yeah. I cannot in my short search here. I should have prepared this. I cannot find it here.
Is Hoffman in the field? He's got to be.
Hey, let's talk about the field drama. Let's talk about
CT Pan and Ben Griffin. We're not even getting to whip around Wednesday here. Let's go.
Let's talk about Fieldgate.
Fieldgate. I mean, if I can be honest off the top here now. It's a 3 type a week golf podcast. We can holler about some of the most peripheral bullshit going. We know this. This is why you come here. This is why we chat. So I'm not going to suggest this is the most important pressing matter in professional golf, but it's a matter here for us nonetheless.
One we can kick around, bat around. Yeah. We could take it to right field. We can lay down a sack bunt if we want. We can hit this around like Mark Leishman would.
And most importantly, it is an opportunity for us to criticize the PGA Tour as being just preposterously backwards. And that's what we'll never miss an opportunity to take a cut at that. And so here we go. We're told by sources, and this is just readily public available information as well.
It came across your desk.
It came across my desk this morning that this has nothing to do with who may be first alternate. Friend of the program, Zach Blair. Could be Joe Schmo. Could be Scott Piercy. But at the moment, I believe...
Let's look at the other alternates. We got, Hayden Springer. Great story.
Number one alternate, I believe. Yeah, he's like 75th in the FedEx Cup standings, I believe. He's like in it.
Kevin Tway, how's he gonna get to 5 career wins, and get me to my worst take ever, satisfy my worst take ever if he's stuck on this 126 to 150 list?
Meanwhile, we got multiple walkers. It's Danny and Jimmy. Danny's fine, but Jimmy Walker is in the field. hasn't been really competitive in like 5 years. And you got Hayden Springer, who's 75th and played his way into the tour alternate. So here's the deal with the alternate. Apparently, Zach Blair is number 1 on the alternate list. But they extend the field for everyone full status to 156. But conditional status doesn't get in the field until it goes back to 144 or below. So there's basically a fake alternate list because you're probably not getting from 50. You're not going to 144.
You know what?
There's a fake alternate list.
We need
12
a rash of food poisoning to run through the tour. Yeah, that's how you get ZB in.
Montezuma's revenge comes to San Antonio.
Walker Cup at Seminole style stuff happening.
So 12 guys essentially have to WD before the first alternate gets in. And I didn't think about this. I saw earlier, like Michael Kim at WD.
How
he just
silly
got the
is
Masters and at WD, and I was like, the field is now at 150. And I was like, what? 150 is just a weird round number. And then this came in today. So it's so bizarre. Apparently, I asked around, talked to people inside the moat, and like it was this way for Valspar as well.
This is similar to the theory of a sponsor's exemption is not taking up a spot in the field.
Correct. Right.
This is the same ideology. This is the same school of thought that the sponsor exception is not taking up a spot in the field. And it's like, well, are they in the field? No. Yes, they are in the field. Right. So they're taking up a spot.
There is in fact.
The field for this event is 156. Okay, it's 156. So 1 in, 1 out. No, it's not actually 156. It has to get to 144 until it's 1 in, 1 out. But you said there's 156 spots. But there's not 156 spots. And also, can we talk about something?
Hayden Springer is 78th and 131st in the world. 131st.
Can we talk about something? He's 131st in the world, and there's 156 spots, and he's not in the field.
Yeah.
He's 75th in your own rankings, not in the field. But let's also drill into something else.
What?
We have 3 wonderful individuals, wonderful people that I've loved watching play golf in my lifetime, in the field under a career money list exemption.
Who is it? Tugboat? Who do we got?
Tugboat, Tugboat, Ryan Palmer, Kevin Kisner, part-time broadcaster, part-time player.
Uh-huh.
And Brant Snedeker.
Cromdome.
Now, this is a tour of meritocracy, tour of earning your spot. These players wouldn't be using a career money list exemption if they're in the 126 to 150 category. They wouldn't.
Oh.
These are players that have not earned a place in the 156 player field. They should not be ahead of 125 to 150, especially players in the 126 to 150 category. They're 75th in the FedEx Cup and 131st in the world.
This is insane. Webb Simpson in on a 2-year. Webb Simpson on a 2-year exemption. He last won in 2020.
6-year money. 6-year win exemption for Webb Simpson. All right, let's get to the major medical category.
Oh, here we go.
Why are these people ahead of 126 to 150? Why is Ben Martin? What is Ben Martin? Ben Martin hasn't done anything in a decade.
It's been a while.
Trey Mullinax played well last week. Bud Cauley should be in the field, not on major medical because he's kicking ass.
They misspelled his name on the field list. Bud with 2 Ds. Bud Cauley on the tour website. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, he should not be a major medical.
Then we got Patty Harrington in there. Sponsors exemptions. But anyways, I'm done. Ran over.
So this is so bizarre.
There should be ways that you move out of your category.
Now, this isn't, this is peripheral. It is not make or break, but and I want to
Zach has his sponsors exemption. I'm glad Zach is there. And your guy, Desert Fox, Marty Laird.
Well, he could be a dark horse pick to win. This guy has great history here. Don't go at Marty Fox at TPC San Antonio or Marty Laird. Can we have some accountability here? I want to suss out. Like, it is easy to take a bat to the PGA Tour on this one, and I think they should get. It's just a bizarre deal that we moved it to 156, but you have to have full status to be off the alternate list until we get to 144. It's such a weird mishmash, serpentine rule or process. Now, have we argued for more cutthroat here? Hand up. Yes. I think we're on the record. I think you can find it. Yes. Do I think the biggest deal is happening at 144 to 156, whatever these 12 spots are? No, not necessarily. But if we're building a field, should we not effort? Why are we just leaving? Why can't it be 156, but it can't? Actually, it can't only for these certain reasons.
It's the same theory that the sponsor exemptions aren't taking up a spot.
Right.
And they are taking up a spot.
I think they built this out because there was no playing opportunities for the KFT grads and the Q school grads during the limited daylight events at the start of the year and the smaller events. And so, like, hey, these guys aren't getting but 1 or 2 starts before June. So they added they increased these field sizes. Well, either they're 156 or they're not. What is this bizarre process by which it needs to go to 144 to then get an alternate in? Then you've got these opposite of field events where you got Neil Lancaster getting off alternate lists and people like that. It's just, I can't keep track of it. And you can understand why the LPGA had they had a woman playing when she shouldn't have. And now they got a lawsuit maybe on their hands for women who were robbed of 3 starts, because you just have such a Byzantine structure on who plays and why. The Springer one is objectionable, right? The guy is 131st in the world, 156-man field. He can't get in.
Can I ask another question here?
Please.
I've just stumbled on another exemption category here. Maybe the most troubling of all exemption categories.
I see where you're going, I think.
Top finishers from Korn Ferry Tour Medical?
Oh, maybe not.
Can I list off these names real quick?
Please.
Anders Albertson.
Anders. You've played with them, right? Okay.
Bronson Burgoon.
The Burgoon man. I love that. The BB guy.
Let your Burgoons be Burgoons.
So stupid.
Vince Cavello.
The Italian stallion. He was tagged into a tweet that said, "Can you bring him to Cutthroat Corner?" I said, I think we did that 3 weeks ago. Because they showed us his stats. They're not good stats.
Philip Knowles and Norman Zhang.
Knowles has not had a good run of play.
What?
I know that.
What have these individuals done?
So it's KFT.
Does it mean they have a major medical from when they were a KFT grad? Or when they were on the Korn Ferry Tour? But none of these players have done anything. To my knowledge of covering the sport in great detail, I can't think of anything noteworthy that any of these individuals have done on the PGA Tour.
Knowles is 576th in the world right now.
Norman Zhang's 375. Bronson Burgoon's 876.
Vince Cavello is 1,986.
Anders Albertson is in the thousands too. What if these players haven't won on the PGA Tour? How are they ahead of the 126? How are they ahead of Hayden Springer?
Bizarre. It is not a bad field for the Texas Open.
Not a bad field. They got Finau. They got
Morikawa WD, but they got Cantlay,
Ludwig.
Ludwig's the big one. I think the big one ever. Jordan Spieth, who's played well here.
Jake Knapp.
Jake Knapp is in the field. It's a good field.
The Kitty Cat.
The Kurt Kitayama, everybody's favorite,
Hideki.
darling kitty cat. It is a good field for the week going into the Masters. But I don't understand this 156 but not 156 rule. Doesn't make sense. Anyways,
I don't understand.
That's our open here on this Wednesday.
I don't understand top finishers from Korn Ferry Tour Medical. Top finishers from Korn Ferry Tour Medical.
Now, I got a question for you. Would you give them a spot in our new event released Skokie Club? We got a big event coming out today.
Great spot.
That's come one, come all. But it's first come, first serve, right? We're not giving out medical.
I think we should do
tour.
Priority rankings. We should start categories. Maybe that'd be the way to drive interest in events. More interest in events is create exemption categories.
We do have a new event.
Well, you could do it like the airlines. The
here.
Airlines incentivize people with just these categories and statuses.
Oh yeah. So we have Skokie. Is it Skokie Golf Club? Skokie Country Club, I think it's called.
It's delightful.
Awesome.
I would say
I've
always said it's a top 5 golf course in Chicago. A great area. Might be with Medina number 3. Might be top 6 now. It might bump it to 6. This place is awesome.
Really
great
cool place.
Incredible greens. Incredible golf course. It's really fun. Like I always say, tell people it's on. Like if people always ask me, like, where are the places you want to see in Chicago, and it's like out at the top is Chicago Golf Shore Acres and Old Elm, and Skokie's always like this is the next place you would want to see. If you're
it's easy to just call up and get a tee time either. So this is a good opportunity to see a very good golf course in the Chicago area.
I think I'll be there.
Live
That'll be an event I'm going to attend.
And our events have been they've been hot. I don't know if they're the hottest club in town. They've been hot, but it's open now. I don't know how long it will be open, but hopefully, you can get a spot, get in there. They'll try to create some other opportunities for golf in the area, but that's a great event, Skokie. That's a big one. For whatever reason, you just turned your back on your hometown entirely. We've never had a fried egg event in the Chicagoland area. You just, I don't know, you're ashamed of where you came from, turned your back on it completely. It's our first one, though.
What's the expression that I said, eat where you shit? What is the...
You don't shit where you eat.
You don't shit where you eat.
I totally understand that. I do.
Now I don't eat there, so...
Well, okay. So that's a big one. We're excited to go to Chicago. That's open at wherever. Just Google fried egg events. You don't need me to tell you the URL. So we'll create a priority list going forward. Maybe that's an endeavor we can task with Will for next year. Let's do a quick rip around Wednesday. Now that we've hollered about the Valero Texas Open, Masters.
Well, should we do?
You want to do Valero
while we're here?
All right.
Let's talk Valero.
Okay. All these things being said about the end of the field, I think I'm in on Valero. I think, I hate that it's been yanked around a lot, and Valero kind of big time their way into it, big oil and gas. And I think Joe Gorder, our new the head honcho, has ties to Valero.
Well, that's why
PGA
Cantlay's
Tour.
playing there.
That's true.
This guy.
I was watching a clip of the 2012 Masters as prep, and he was low am. He's just this young, innocent-looking, sweet-faced kid before he got into the dark, deep world of distressed debt investing. He's like, what happened to him?
We didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that during the TGL broadcast, did you guys see that there was like Apollo inflatables in the Atlanta Drive booth? I wish I would have screenshotted it.
I don't think that's right.
I think I have it saved. I'm gonna go back. I think I spotted it when they were talking with Horschel's kids.
I think I know what you're talking about.
There was some sort of Apollo merch. I'd love to get my hands on some of that.
They had the giant head cutouts, and he's wearing an Apollo hat in his big head cardboard cutout, and the Horschel kids are flashing that. And like, so it's basically this giant Apollo sign, I think is probably what you saw. Cause I did note that too as kind of amusing that the little horse kids essentially serving as, a sandwich board for Apollo at that point.
Well, they were wearing the LPGA hats too.
Yeah, right.
I saw Billy. Billy was on Golf Channel today talking Ryder Cup, talking about.
Was he?
Yeah,
he was available. All right, I love it. He gave little quotes. You don't get that I love Billy Boy. That's great. Valero. I don't mind the Valero. LaMagna just pounds the tables. You guys are idiots if you're against this. Loves the course.
He loves totally the AT&T, the formerly AT&T Oaks course.
He loves this golf course. A data perspective. This is a Greg Norman design. I believe it's about 74, pushing 7,500 yards.
Could have been another contract he won by going to play Heron Bay.
TPC. Eagle Trace or whatever.
Or Eagle Trace, yeah.
Yes. TPC Network loved them some Norman, even though, he didn't hold the grudge.
Is another sign of the brilliance of the PGA Tour sales team that they sold the title sponsor to a golf course in Texas.
I mean, they get they maximize the sellable space on there. It's got the donut bunker, donut green, with their bagel green, whatever you want to call it, with the bunker in the middle of the putting surface. It's a Norman special. The fairways are like 20 yards wide everywhere, but they chop
the bushes. The
Kevin Na mangroves or what are they? The mangroves is the Mayakoba one.
They're snake hotels.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go anywhere near those bushes. There's probably rattlesnakes everywhere.
Crazy narrow, but they chop down the rough to make it Masters adjacent. It's overseeded to death. So you get in trouble if you hammer. There's a real problem if you send it into the whatever you were just talking about, snake hotels. So I don't mind it. And to LaMagna's point, the winners here are ball strike supreme. You have to hit good irons, and I think a mix of them. There's some long irons involved. Some of the par fives are not easy to get to. You've had short hitters do well here. Poof ballers can do well, even though it's whatever it is, a beefy Norman course. You got and then you're getting the ball striker supreme. Akshay, the defending champ, golfed his ball around. Second shots. Corey Connors, of course. Chuck Hoffman, as we've talked about, has done well here. Just a menace at this course.
Is he in the field?
Yes, he is. He's with Ben Griffin. I just saw it. I Googled it while we were talking. Ben Griffin and somebody else. CT Pan, I believe. Maybe the bread man. So,
What? Something come across your desk?
No, I just lost everything. I lost all my windows. What did I do here?
Well,
but keep going. So there we go. We're back. Good field. Decent field for the week. I think Aberg's the big one. He's sort of this Masters, not dark horse, but people who claim to, I know a little bit more about just Rory and Scotty. You should watch out for Ludwig.
How about his new getup? You worried about you worried about his clothes for the Masters? I think you'd be worried.
This hasn't come across my desk. What is it? Scripting?
He's getting a little flamboyant.
Flowers?
Apparel. He's got green and white checkered pants.
It's Malbon Jace, I would say. It's going in that direction.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big box brand trying to be cool, which is never. They're always, you never want to be chasing something, and it just feels like Adidas trying to chase a trend that they did not start.
I'm getting rumors that we're getting the scripting for next week at the Masters, but I need to confirm this is a tongue-in-cheek ordeal.
I think it was the idea of it was a tongue-in-cheek ordeal.
Okay. All right. Let's go. We'll do that. But I like this.
I can't wait to see what they jam you with.
Trying to make me flamboyant? Is that what you're talking about? Who's coming
they're
at?
Trying to.
Dratty doesn't do that.
I heard this great thing about becoming a dad. I was is effectively your style, the day that your kid is born is the day your style locks in. until they leave the house. So you're locked in at that point to your style.
I mean,
so I'm looking forward to somebody telling me what to wear because it might get me out of my comfort zone.
There you go. I
recently told some fellow members of Golf Media, they were asking about life as a parent, and I said to them, they're very hip to fashion trends. As I said, listen, I just bought some T-shirts at Costco. That's what I got going on. Yeah.
All right. I've not been above that before.
Listen, I sent them a notice. I just got a couple more T-shirts at Costco this weekend.
All right, like that.
Went back for a few more. Listen, the kid. What I've noticed, I'm just picking up oil on everything from the kid. Like they just put their hands. They put their hands on me, and the shirt's ruined.
Yeah. I think. Look, I care about what I look like, right? You care a little bit.
I care about what I look like.
Yeah, don't look like a total clown. But I think you realize that's none of this shit matters as much as we're told that it's this important that this is, changing the entire world.
And this is why you should go to beachready.com.
Yeah.
They got good stuff.
They got good stuff.
Make it easy for you.
So they're not going to tell you about how they, reinvented the world. They just made something high quality that looks good. All right. That's a free ad read. I don't think they were slotted today, but they're coming next week. They're coming. We're going to Dratty House. They're coming.
SGS 30.
Valero, yeah, I like it. I don't like. It's okay. I'm into it. Lamagna, I'll defer to his data boy approach. He likes that it's real test of pro golf.
Pairing of the week, Potgieter, not a good course fit for Potgieter.
No. Can we talk about that versus last week, Andy?
Antoine Rosner and Norman Zhang.
Big Twan.
Big Twan.
Potgieter.
and Storm and Norman.
The X-Man. Wow. That's a good trio. I mean, so there is a penalty for going way wild here. And you need to be in position to hit a good second shot.
There's been a great lot of juxtaposition with last week. This is what the tour should be doing. Like if you were talking about like race cars and drivers and like these are like very different golf courses. Like out here, precision is so rewarded, particularly off the tee. If you can just avoid the kind of disasters that are out there that are being offered to you regularly on almost every hole through penalties and unplayable lies and such, you are going to do well because like these guys are so good. They run into birdies. Like all these guys and the quality of player, it depends on how often they run into birdies. But if they're playing well, they avoid penalty shots. You run into enough birdies, you're going to top 10 here. Like if you get through this week without a penalty shot and you're playing moderately well, you are going to be near the top of the board. And it's really this course, I think, is just so it's just such a precision golf course. Sure, power, super valuable, but you have to keep it on the planet power. Last week, especially with the golf course soft and overseeded. So I think like there are a lot of like these unfair
it's a lot of takes out there.
Characterizations of Memorial Park that are not considering that the golf course is supposed to be Bermuda with Bermuda rough. And if it was Bermuda rough, there'd be a very, very, very big penalty for missing the fairway, especially with the greens.
Yeah.
Now, when they go to the overseed, it's a lot less penal of a grass.
Uniform.
And it's very easy to understand how the ball's going to react. But that is just people who just frankly do not understand the golf course making terrible takes about the golf course.
There was a lot of blowback about that last week, about how like you can just lose strokes off the tee and you can just send it everywhere.
You know, it's the same crowd. It's the same crowd that seemed to have a problem with LACC, where we had a final day where these 4 players had a chance to win the tournament and nobody else. 4 players, nobody else had a chance to win. It was let me think
Rory.
back. Wyndham, who's been top 10 player now for 3 years. Rory McIlroy, or 2 years. Ricky Fowler and a guy named what was it? Scotty Scheffler. Oh,
look at this! You're hamming it up here. I like it.
Yeah,
hamming it up.
I hate
There's
golf.
Been a lot
I
of
hate
chatter
golf
about
tournaments
that.
like that. I hate golf tournaments that the golf course clearly defines like these guys have played better than everybody else. I hate when that happens. I prefer a golf course that just keeps everybody right there. It's like a Sunday sprint. We'll see who wins this simulation on Sunday.
I don't disagree, but I think I've come around a little bit to. We're on a run of the game's just getting farther and farther apart. Whatever pro golf is, and whatever it requires to like examine the full bag or examine skills that we think are important. Here, it's. You gotta be a second shot. You gotta be able to hit your irons well. Quite honestly, you do need to keep it in play somewhat off the tee, and those have identified good winners as of late. Whether it's Valspar or the Players or Bay Hill, which we of course are we just getting farther and farther apart of what makes like a fun, not fun, but like what we feel like is a real pro golf test, and. What's a real good golf course? What's an enjoyable feat of good golf architecture? That feels like it's continuing to get farther and farther apart because you're here, and a lot of people say this is a better professional golf tournament test compared to last week. And I don't know, maybe those just continue to get farther and farther apart. If that makes sense. We don't think Greg Norman's a better architect than.
I just think that people need to understand that every golf tournament shouldn't be played at the same type of golf course. And this comes from
that's good.
I think this comes from I think people would lob grenades at me and say that I think every golf course should be the same. That's the furthest thing from what I think what the way the golf schedule should be is like there should be golf courses that literally like have wide amount of challenges. We want to see like it's not just about identifying one type of golfer, because you could set up if you just did narrow rough, narrow thick rough, narrow fairways, thick rough everywhere. You could shape who's going to be in the top 30 in the OWGR really easily, right? Yeah. I think the key to a great schedule is having variety. It is having golf courses like Memorial Park that play drastically different than TPC San Antonio, that plays way different than, Torrey Pines.
Yeah, Minwoo Lee would agree. He's happy. We got a different kind of test. Ratings for that were monsters, by the way. Minwoo, the doctor.
Should we call
in the
him,
house.
I think we should call him physician assistant for Chapinski.
Oh. We're going to get the physician assistants of America are going to come after us now.
No, that's too. Maybe we'll say he's the receptionist for Dr. Chapinski.
All right. I like Ludwig's scripting. I'm standing up for Adidas here. I thought you guys are bagging on it. It's fine. At least this one photo PJ sent me. Nice looking sweater. It's not Bedrati quality, but it looks fine.
It's a gallery. You can click through.
Oh, all right. I'm viewing it through Slack. Yeah. A solitary image.
There's more there.
Okay. All right. These pants are absurd. You're right. Oh, my God. Let's stop trying to be something. All right. The sweater's in, though. I'm okay with it. All right. So let's get some picks for the Valero Texas Open. It's the regular schedule. There's
PJ's hot. Let's let PJ lead off. He's coming off a win. He's the gambling. People are starting to say that we might have a gambling expert on this renowned gambling podcast. We've been claiming to be a gambling podcast for years.
Yeah.
Now people are suggesting we might have a sharp.
Are people suggesting that?
I don't know if it's a golf sharp, but he's sharp. Guy's got Guy does his research. He knows what he's doing.
Had some big Sankey takes before we started record. He was fired up.
Real quick. People are hollering about the Big East has a leg up with NIL money. It's not fair.
The SEC has the audacity to complain that they can't compete in basketball because they have to spend too much money on football. And that Villanova and St. John's, I would not be as mad if we were not singled out and named by Greg Sankey. But here we are.
Oh, we did.
That St. John's and Villanova can spend all 10 million rev share dollars on basketball. Sorry, Greg. Not my problem. Not my problem.
All right, Texas Open, $9.5 million, so almost the full amount of rev share.
St. John's fan fights back at SEC.
Yeah.
Are we just because of these commentaries, PJ? Are we big Duke and Houston fans this weekend?
Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
You don't want to
can't have the SEC win basketball. Then Houston, they're going to have to allocate more money.
I don't know how I've gotten here. My vitriol hatred of Bruce Pearl and Kelvin Sampson have probably escorted me here. That I'm like, I think best case scenario for me is Duke winning.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Because Sampson's goes back to Eric Gordon and all that stuff with Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruce Pearl goes back to Jimmy Collins with Illinois. Got his probation slapped on us.
That's a great game though. That Duke Houston game that's fabulous game. Okay. The purse is 9.5
Are we going to get to
million.
picks?
1.7 to the winner. So that's a big, you got a one and done. That's a lot of chunk of change.
Supposed to be a short
Who do you like? Who do you like, PJ? Who's your one and done? What is that?
Got my hat. Okay. Got my hat. Just a guy.
Well here.
Just a guy. Think of the storylines. Everybody's going to be in a tizzy. Jordan Spieth wins the week before the Masters again.
It's a narrative play, not
People
a
are going to lose
play.
their, well, I mean, it is a data play. He likes this golf course. He plays well in Texas. He's won here before. But this is a vibes play. I need everybody in a tizzy by Sunday night.
I hope he wins. He hits by hitting it on top of the roof. Yep. You have to defend it on Monday.
He knows his way around this course and places that people never been to before. So
that's.
I'm gonna go.
He's a points merchant. This is an opportunity for him to. It's just an opportunity. It's not a points merchant. It's actually it's like the golf world's kind of buzzing moment. This is a perfect place for him to snatch up belief.
Yeah. See,
it's a perfect place.
I
get here. This is the perfect place for people to start to talk themselves back into him being a world-class player.
Now
he's going to win that. See, now it's getting close to the Masters. I get terrified every year.
The quants are saying he's hitting the ball well. Irons are looking good. So yeah, you're terrified right now.
Well, you are too. You finally came on board.
It's more of a blowback about the sort of hullabaloo about every par that he makes, right? To finish T38. I don't know. I know this was supposed to be a big week for St. John's and San Antonio. I know, PJ, you had a plane ticket there. Didn't you have a plane ticket to
had a
for the Final Four? Canceled that. I hope refundable.
He was on my short list, so I like this pick.
So I'm going to go with Keegan Bradley. St. John's. If the basketball team couldn't be there, he will be there to represent your, swimming in it. Rich school, just bullying the SEC to and fro. He'll be there representing you guys and win the golf tournament while the basketball goes on across town. That's my one and done pick.
Every time I think about St. John's, I think about St. John's bullying Alabama. Alabama getting the short end of the stick because of St. John's.
You and Greg are totally aligned here.
That's fine. You could take this little guy corner, PJ. I just don't want to hear about the Mets anymore. And it's like, talking about your woe is me with the Mets. We're tortured. Like, get out of here. No,
I bet those Mets have a full shipment of torpedo bats in the clubhouse too. I can guarantee that.
So does everybody.
Torpedo bat?
I do have more. I do.
Right. Give us your pick.
I've thoroughly enjoyed torpedo bat discourse. I love, would say that I'm just not generally like Barstool's never been my thing. I do occasionally enjoy a Dave Portnoy rant. I thoroughly enjoyed Dave Portnoy's rant on baseball and the torpedo bat because there are a lot of just common threads with what we on this podcast have been yelling about with the golf driver heads. And really what it crystallized about, with all of these baseball heads, unanimous baseball analysts, players just yelling about this torpedo bat. The audacity that you could, like, I think Portnoy said it great. Like, a guy that can't get his hands through quick enough to not get jammed just isn't very good. Kind of like a guy, these driver heads, the guy that can't swing it really fast and hit the sweet spot is just not very good at golf, because like the skill is to swing it hard and hit the sweet spot. But because everybody in golf, media, players, former players, even down to executives and other things, have this history of being paid an exorbitant amount of money by the equipment manufacturers. Because of that, golf doesn't have this. Doesn't have people just looking at the situation and being like, wait a second, like, we're devaluing the ability to hit the center of the club face with a driver. And we've been devaluing it for 30 years. And the fact that nobody says this because everybody's paid off. But in baseball, a sport that's regulated the equipment for years, guess who doesn't? Wood bat companies do not have just the war chest of money to pay every voice off. It's not like Dave Portnoy is laying up his takes because he's paid off by Louisville or Easton. Yeah. This doesn't exist because the sport has actually regulated, and it's just made it so, like, I'm just sitting here watching this, like, this just outcry from everybody people associated with baseball. Yeah. And you look at it and it's like literally the Titleist and other equipment companies have just paid people off to not say anything, when everybody who has any sort of a golf brain can look at the situation and be like, you know what? This is kind of effed up. We have been just turning a blind eye to the skill at the highest level of the game of hitting the center of the club face.
Love this.
It is so sad to me when I watch players that clearly miss-hit drives and they're like 10 yards within someone like Rory McIlroy, and it's like, oh, I know he didn't hit the center of the club face there. He had a one-handed finish. But it still came off at 182 miles an hour of ball speed with no spin. There's no repercussions for missing the center of the club face. Welcome baseball to the discourse. Welcome to a world where it doesn't matter where on the bat you hit the ball.
I was watching old Masters. Just like people like Seve, noted chopper, could never find a terrible golfer, right? Like when he made a bad swing, there was like a real pull hook into the water. It finishes with one hand. It was a bad result.
Let's let a pitcher jam a guy and have it go out of the freaking ballpark, like what's happening right now.
The notable history of a significant regulation of baseball. I love my favorite tweet in this was, back in my day, we didn't have torpedo bats. We took anabolic steroids like real men. That was one of my favorite tweets. But no, you're right. It's, as far as an equipment and putting the thumb on the scale of the discourse, there is quite a dichotomy. And with that,
you know what? So this is where my stance on the situation. Everybody says, "Oh, what about the equipment companies? What about the equipment companies?" Screw them. They've ruined. They've been just actively ruining the professional game of golf.
Oh, it's going to be a great time under the tree next week. I love this. Love it. All right.
Always have a chat with one. Oh, fuck.
It's just processing this in real time. All right. Who's your pick, by the way? That was a good lead-in.
I'm very chalky. Not going out on any ledge. I'm taking Corey Connors. Great course history here.
Good pick.
Ascending. I think the biggest threat to Chuck Hoffman at the top of the all-time power rankings for Valero. Corey Connors probably the biggest threat. 2-time winner.
Comes a Monday qualifier.
Finished third at Arnold Palmer, 6th at the Players, 8th at Valspar.
Trending.
I'm not gonna. I need a good pick this week. I'm not gonna mess around with this. This feels like the safest pick on the board.
All right, love it. And one way to be safe, not just with your picks, but out in the sun this summer, is to go to orsanalps.com/shotgun and load up with Shotgun 15. You get 15% off. That's a way to be safe. Golfers, what's the stat? 200% more likely to get skin cancer? That's a significant percent. Don't quote me on that. I didn't look at the sheet. I'm just going with 200. But orsanalps.com/shotgun start, I should say, a shotgun start. Go to that URL. Peruse the many various sundry of items they have. It's not just sunscreen. It's very different kinds of sunscreens. Matte sticks. They got the regular lotion. They've got the clear face stick. I couldn't recommend that more, especially for golfers to put in their bag. They've got the hydrating antioxidant sunscreen spray, the mist that we're trying to get to the septic tank. But then they got all sorts of stuff, body washes and soaps and moisturizers and deodorants for the athlete who's running around all day. So it's our one of our favorite sponsors. orsanalps.com/shotgun start, and you get 15% off a Shotgun 15.
My top kit is filled with the Orson Alps products. You can get from deodorant to moisturizer to sunblock to lip balm to all kinds of shit in there.
I love it. Yep. I need to know the origin of the word top kit because that's all I've ever known it as, and we'll get to that in a different episode. orsanalps.com/shotgun start. All right, continuing on with our schedule for the week, we have the Augusta National Women's Amateur starting Wednesday, Thursday, day off Friday, finishing Saturday. That is on NBC, I believe, is the Sunday finish, 12 noon to 3. Or I'm not Sunday, Saturday finish from noon to 3. But on Wednesday and Thursday is 1:30 to 3:30 on Golf Channel. And that is at Champions Retreat out there in, is it Evans, Georgia? It's just a few miles down the way from Augusta. So that's your annual. It's the most loaded field, I think, in the history of women's amateur golf. I believe they're missing only one of the top 50 women in the world. They've got 3 former champions in there, Lottie Woad being the defending champion, but they've got Subasa Kajitani in there, Anna Davis making her way over from Auburn. She's in the field. So 3 former winners here, an incredibly loaded field, and now a real tradition here that we have the week leading ahead of the Masters, especially with that Saturday finish.
Event of the week.
Okay. All right. We will have a couple.
I gotta check what plane I'm on.
Fried Egg
for Saturday.
Fried Egg staffers in attendance, please subscribe to the Fried Egg newsletter for writing and coverage there from Meg Adkins, Adam Woodard. They'll both be down there. Then Mixed Bag will have a lot. We have a Katie Craig who's in the field, architecture geek,
good player,
great
too.
Amateur
really
player.
Good player.
They'll have Fried Egg flying the Fried Egg flag down there. I think we're
how about
partial.
The unboxing video?
How about that? She's got the bag, she's got the tire from Dratty and all that. Zero, it's great. So we're locked in. I think, I don't know if we're corrupted now. We can't assess this field impartially anymore, but we are rooting for Katie Craig probably just to play well because she seems like a great person. So that's your ANWA. We will talk about this much more as the field comes into focus for the Augusta finish at Augusta National on Saturday. A great event of the week. I really like what how it's established the cadence of kind of turn into April here. On LPGA, we have the T-Mobile Match Play. That's the 64, not top 64, but 64 women in the Match Play event. They do the round robin deal. It's at Shadow Creek still, right? I believe it's at Shadow Creek. That will be pool play here starting on Wednesday. So note that you got Wednesday start on Golf Channel from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern, a good broadcast window with a finish on Sunday at 9. So they're all week finishing at 9 o'clock on Golf Channel. So it starts Wednesday. They do pool play for a couple days. Then they go to the bracket. And that is at Shadow Creek, a really great event. Yeah. One of the best events on the LPGA.
They never have been able to figure out when to host this event.
Yeah, correct. Remember when they did it ahead of the U.S. Women's Open?
Yeah. What was her name? Shan.
Yeah, Fen. Yeah. And it was 100 degrees, and then they had Olympic, I believe.
They have 36 whole days.
You're right.
This isn't the answer, too. This is one of the best events on their calendar, and they put it opposite of ANWA.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Sunday's sort of a little bit more open with ANWA finishing.
But it's
Saturday,
the worst day to watch the match play event is Sunday.
Yeah, true. Wednesday start, and it's up against ANWA there, too. So you have ANWA. You have Texas Open. You have the match play at Shadow Creek. You also have Live Durrell, which we will go into more depth for Friday. Because that doesn't start.
What's
till Friday.
The creator thing?
Big thing.
The creator
big deal
thing
there.
Thursday?
I don't know. PJ, do you have creator duels information on how to? I thought it was Saturday. Quite honestly, isn't it like a 9-hole scramble and then they do the shotgun start or something? Or is it pre-produced?
It's airing on Saturday.
Okay, so
I don't think we have a real date for it yet.
Got it. So we'll go into that again. They're on Fox. They're on the network. Little anxiety down at PGA Tour about them outrating supposedly the Texas Open. I don't know if it's the biggest deal if it happens, but it's being watched here. All right, let's go to news. Bounce around here. Ratings. Speaking of ratings for Houston, are way up. 2 points up, 44% last year from Steven Yeager's win. Minwoo Lee, just the absolute needle mover. Dr. Chapinski. It even outrate 2023 Sam Burns match play during this week and match play in 2022, according to Josh Carpenter. So way up. We got to get Minwoo and everything, exempt into everything. Get him on the Peak Cup. Let him cook. I don't know who's preventing him from cooking, but they need to let him.
Is Minwoo the new Ricky?
You might be onto something there. There's a lot of content.
I really like that.
How he was FaceTiming Justin Bieber after. That seems like something Ricky would do in a prior era. Oh, I think you might be onto something.
Considered edgy without ever doing anything really edgy.
Lulu is the new Puma, Cobra Puma, maybe with
hasn't really ever given us a lot from like anything to chew on.
That could be interesting. We'll have to workshop that one, but I think you're onto something. It's more than half baked, quarter baked, 3/4 baked. I think you're on your way.
It's in the oven. The take's in the oven.
Other news. Did you see this new but old? Concessions item is returning to Augusta National. We don't need to get into concessions watch, but tomato pie. I mean, one man's tomato pie is another man's calzone. Is that what we're doing? This is just a calzone. It's
Are you going to try it? Are you going to try it out?
I mean, the tomato pie does not connote something appetizing, in my opinion.
It sounds like it's a bad name. Bad name.
It's just PJ's coming now. He's coming. I don't know if
we got to get him a ticket.
We're working on getting him into Augusta National for a practice round or something. But PJ, if you come, we got to get you a tomato pie. It's just a calzone. Maybe that's what they call it in New York.
I'm in.
All right. Tomato pie is back.
Gotta get a PJ practice round ticket. That's what we got to find. We're scour the earth here.
All right. Let's do it. Another thing I enjoyed that we got tagged into today. They're selling used range balls from the 2024 Open Championship on fanatics.com for $49.99. $50 2024 Open Championship authentic range used Titleist golf ball from the final round on July 21, 2024. So that's a Royal Troon. Somebody went out, but I could get this on eBay of this show, but it's on Fanatics. They've got Fanatics. They're selling used range balls from the British Open last year at Troon. So that's another odds and ends. Toasty responds. More news. Toasty had not tweeted in a while. Fired up the old Twitter account and got at it. He said, play at my own pace. Oh my God. Because I took a piss on the restroom. I believe he means in the restroom. Language lost in translation there. Because I took a piss in the restroom and prepared myself a drink, I am now, quote, slow playing and trying to throw off my playing partners, end quote. Go F yourselves, failures. By the way, stop the fake news, idiots. There was no confrontation with Ryan Fox on the first hole. He says, so that was his response to the whole controversy. He then, I believe, deleted that, reloaded with a slightly cleaner version, but still pretty hot because he runs hot. His name's Toasty. Bones talking shit for the fans, saying I'm walking 50 yards behind and trying to slow play my partner. The part you don't see is that I used the restroom. I like the old version more, and prepared myself a drink. So that got sort of agentized or cleaned up. Anyways, I fully within his right to defend himself. Right? We didn't love the narrative that took root in that broadcast. It doesn't sound like the whole Fox thing was much of a deal. Who knows?
I went to lengths to try and find out what happened on the first tee, and nothing happened with Ryan Fox.
Okay. So Toasty defending himself, I think he's within his right to do so based on the treatment.
I stand with the Toast Man.
The Toastmaster. All right.
Maybe not. I don't defend all things that the Toast Man might have done.
On principle.
But on the Ryan Fox thing.
Yeah.
Nothing happened there.
Okay. Other news, TGL is apparently, this is a Doug Ferguson Associated Press report that there's a Dallas group looking to pay $77 million for a TGL franchise in Dallas. And then there was continued chatter reporting on the West Coast venue that's not going to be anytime soon. It would be more than a year away. So yeah. $77 million Dallas franchise.
Good news for Dallas fans. You don't have Luka, but you got a TGL team. And Anthony Davis.
You got Anthony Davis. God, that's a tough gig. And Brian Schottenheimer as their head football coach.
I pray that they let Nico Harrison be involved in some way.
And what a disaster that's turned into be. Not that it wasn't, we didn't think it was going to be good, but God, it gets worse and worse. Other news, I don't know, Billy, but we're told by PJ, Billy is apparently playing with Tom Hoagie in the Zurich, which is a great one. What was your suggestion there, PJ? It's a Ryder Cup?
Yeah, I said potential Ryder Cup duo. I'm glad we're filling it out early.
Billy and Hoagie.
What if they win? What if they win?
I think that's a pairing that New York fans could really get behind.
Imagine a playoff.
Every man of Tom Hoagie.
Rory Shane playoff versus Billy Hoagie, and then we run it back Friday. I mean, come on. I'm writing the script myself here.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
I think Billy and Rory have had some, they had the Wentworth showdown.
Yeah.
They had TGL showdown.
They go back to Walker Cup, right? Didn't they opposite Walker Cup, I think?
I think they were at Royal County Down.
Billy was walking and very emotive, and then I think that was the thing.
Billy, I got this is a little scuttlebutt on Billy's win at Wentworth last year. I didn't bring this up during the Players.
No idea.
Oh, this is a little nugget here. So Billy apparently, this is unsubstantiated rumor. I could text corroborate, but Billy was talking about the Wentworth playoff, and he was saying like, here's the thing. I just needed to get in the playoff because in regulation, I got to play for the points, like a second place. Like I'm worried about making a big number on 18, and I knew if I got in the playoff, then I could really let it go. I could go. Because I was in the playoff, I've secured my second place finish.
Okay.
That's when I knew I could beat Rory. I was worried about Rory in regulation because he doesn't care if he finishes fourth or second. He's trying to win. I have to worry about that stuff.
So he's a points protector.
Yeah.
Okay. I like
That's the kind of guy you want on your Ryder Cup team.
Especially in a best ball situation, right? He will protect.
Yeah, he'll be free. He'll be free.
Yeah. That's
We've never, you never see peak Billy unless he's in a position where he's freed up.
I don't have anything else. News. PJ, did you want to talk about the NFLPA event in Boca Raton?
No, we could save that for Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, let's talk.
We'll have pairings for that.
We'll have pairings by Friday.
All right, that does it. Oh, we got a bunch of new hats. They're gonna go quickly. They're
awesome.
They're so good. I know it's our own hat, and this is quote unquote an ad read. If I came upon them completely unaffiliated, I would say those are very good. They've got a lot of new hats. Mackenzie Bunker. We got new head covers. We got new T-shirts.
Bunch of gnomes.
Mackenzie. A bunch of gnomes for the sickos out there. A lot of gnomes. They're going to fly. Go to the proshop.thefriedegg.com. They're really good. Stock them up. You order them today or Wednesday, Thursday. They get to you by the Masters. Really good hats. So check that out. And we will be back with you on Friday.